Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. Thank you for joining us here in our webinar. We will try to make it very concise within the 1 hour time mark. Our last webinar, if you did join us, I apologize. We had some technical difficulties, so it wasn't able to be recorded. So today's will be recorded. So if you do need to share or just kind of rewatch to kind of listen to some of the portions of the webinar, we will have that recorded for you. So the title of this session today is called All Roads Lead to Rome, Multiple Pathways to Transfer into U.S. Top 50 Universities, presented by King's Education. We'll be discussing, different universities that our students have transferred to, and we have some special guests, some of our alumni that have moved on to different universities. My name is Chihei Lee. I'm the Center Director here with the King's Program at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. I'm joined today by my colleague Stephanie Dixon. She's our Student Success Advisor, specifically at the King's Program at UWO. And with us today is Brittany Figueroa. She's our Director of Student Success and Academic Advising. She's our national leader for the Student Success component of our program here at King's Education, and she is based out in New York, while me and Stephanie are here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I'm going to have Brittany kind of start off with sort of our general numbers here with Kings, as well as talk about just overall kind of what Kings does, as well as sort of our transfer results.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Brittany. I am the Director of Success, Student Success and Academic Advisement. So my job is to um, assist our advisors over all of our locations to ensure that your students get the best results possible. Um, so Stephanie is one of our wonderful student success advisors, and she is responsible for helping us get some of these results that you are seeing in front of you. All right, so just to quickly review, 100% of our students are always offered a university place. No student is going to leave this program without being in a four-year program within their major of choice. 100% are accepted by top 100 universities. If the student is applying to a top 100 university, we have a 100% success rate. 83% are accepted by top 50 universities, and 85% get into UW-Madison with the Go Madison guarantee in the academic year 24-25. So King's offers guaranteed outcome programs, two of which are the Go Wisconsin and the Go Rochester program. So if your student goes to the University of Wisconsin, there's a public guarantee that allows them entry into the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And Stephanie is an expert in those policies and in that guidelines, and she guides your students every step of the way to ensure that they are qualified for Madison and gain that entry that they deserve. Go Rochester is another. All of our students get a provisional letter of acceptance from the University of Rochester, which is in upstate New York. It is a top 50 school. And so they'll receive the letter. There's a few check boxes they need to just check off when they put in their application. And so the difference here is that yes, they do apply. Yes, they complete all of the requirements, but they are guaranteed admission. If they apply without their provisional letter from King's and they still qualify and check all of the boxes, then their admissions is not guaranteed like in any other application system. So that is a wonderful backup at an amazing institution that we have here in the United States. And so here we have some University of Wisconsin-Madison acceptance for majors. So we have 95.5% of our students are accepted to UW-Madison. So you can see our largest cohort of students get in for computer science. Second largest would be pre-business. Okay, so just to clarify here, so pre-business means that a student is accepted into the College of Letters and Science. They will complete one semester of, prerequisites and graduation requirements, and then in their second semester at UW-Madison, they will have entry into the School of Business. Now, we have pre-business labeled here because students at all across all of our locations apply and get into Wisconsin-Madison. The difference between University of Wisconsin locations, Stout and Madison, is that they have the guarantee transfer program. So those students who apply for a business, there's a business application that's available in the spring. And if they submit that additional business application, then they are admitted directly into the business program. So that's another benefit of joining us at Stout or Oshkosh. Okay, so here we have thriving in UC admissions. In 2023, we had 80% of our UC applicants receive an offer, and 100% received multiple offers from multiple UC acceptances. So to clarify, out of those 80% that received and one offer, they also received another offer or more out of a different UC campus. So 80% of these applicants for UC had options. They could select whichever campus they wanted to go to from their offers. And so historically, King students have achieved 182 UC offers, 48 different areas of study, and we have students at all nine UC campuses.
Okay, so I'm going to discuss a little bit more about student services here with the King's program at all of our centers in the United States. I'll also talk specifically about our UWO location as well, and the specific people here on our location that support our students. So pre-arrival, so lots of stuff happened behind the scenes before a student even physically comes here to the U.S. and sees us for the first week of new student orientation. They'll obviously work with agencies, schools, teachers, getting information from our King's U.S. admissions team. But they'll also be working with onboarding with our local team here. At our schools, at our partner schools. We will offer a pre-arrival webinar for all of our newly accepted students, similar to this, but usually it'll be Microsoft Teams, where we'll ask students, are there any questions, important documents to bring, definitely going over what will be the structure of the university, as they will be receiving lots of emails both from the university and from King's. But we really try to tell students, check your King's email, because the King's email will really consolidate student emails and really reach out to students to say, hey, your immigration officer has asked for this. Please respond. Things like that. Class registration, we do a lot of pre-class registration depending if a student knows their major, and also really push for students to take that placement test. So most of our schools within the US, you take two placement tests before registering for classes. That would be the English proficiency test as well as the math placement test. Housing guarantee, all students get housing here on campus here. And so the King's team nationwide work with our students regarding housing and any specific requests that a student may have. It could be dietary, about what foods are needed at the cafeteria. It could also be specific requests for a single. We've had students who had medical conditions and needed something specific for housing, so we work on that. Airport pickup, if a student feels comfortable taking airport transfer on their own, or they even arrive with their family and the family is renting a car, no worries. But we do provide services for airport pickup. We even help with families who need airport pickup, who arrive together and need to go to a hotel first. We could help with that as well. We communicate a lot with different members of the UWO campus, as well as the agency where students are from or represented from, or the country where they're from. So lots of emails, lots of communication to make sure parents feel confident and safe as their child, the student, is here studying here in the U.S. Activities. So lots of student support. I think I really want to highlight this. This is something special that probably no other program here in the U.S. provides for university students. Of course, within the university, there are Office of International Education offices that run separate programs. However, this is specifically for King's students. So not only are King's students getting the university activities, and events, but they're also receiving specific King's events. So every month, there is a calendar that you see here, where our activities coordinator or student experience coordinator will create. Orientation, new student orientation, we work hand in hand with the university. So the students will be amongst all freshmen, new students, but there will be King staff that makes sure students are going to the correct meetings, attending all the things that they need to do, and really making sure that the students are showing their best representation of themselves to the university. Because in the end of the day, we tell students that we want to make sure they are getting the best care from us, but then at the same time, we want them to make sure that they are representing themselves well to the university and at the end, with their professors, because they're the ones who are going to be writing letters of recommendation for them in the future. Campus and local tours are offered. Here specifically at UWO, we are relatively close to Madison, about an hour and a half drive. Every semester, fall and spring, we do have a university tour to UW-Madison. We help with bank account openings, SIM cards. I've been to other campuses not affiliated with King's within their university. Office of International Education program. Sometimes they give them, little SIM cards and say, here, good luck, have fun, good luck with that. Or bank account, here's a bank name, go, good luck, right? So with Kings, we really make sure with our students, we ask them, is there a bank that your parents prefer? Is there a bank that you would need access to all the time? Things like this. Especially our students who are coming from Asia. They prefer big bank names like Chase Bank because why? Transferring money from their home country to the US is easier and there's less of a transfer fee. So we help students with that. Community meal times, we have a designated physical office, which you will not find with other sort of third-party programs that partner with universities, where students can come, eat, have snacks, have activities in our offices. Shopping trips. Actually, this week is spring break for the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. I took a few of our students who did not decide to travel away. Some of our students are in Florida, California, Mexico. But the students that have stayed here for the week of spring break, we took them out to Chicago for the day. They went to a lot of the different supermarkets out there, especially for our East Asian students. We went to H Mart for our Korean students, Mitsuwa for Japanese students, and a new big Chinese market called 88 Marketplace. That's right outside of Chicago in the Chinatown area. Off-campus events as well. We recommend activities for students, and really this calendar is for students to let us know what kind of activities they're looking for. Transfer support. After I speak, Stephanie will go more over. Stephanie's right over here at the bottom right corner. Workshops, super important. There's different topics specifically geared towards students. You will not find this at other schools because other schools or other universities, their main focus is to graduate from our university, right? Our main job is for our students to learn about the U.S. Education system and how they can have many different choices in regards to the transfer process. That means topics like application, essays, resume writing. Also talking about academic resources. If you're struggling with certain classes, students find themselves feeling more comfortable coming to our King's team, and then our King's team can go help the students get supported, whether it's tutoring on campus, whether it's reaching out to professors and having office hour with them. We provide this support with our students. Profile building, super important as you talk to some of our alumni today. We teach our students as they first arrive in the US. It's not about just because you have a 4.0 GPA or all A's, it does not mean you're going to get into Harvard University or every single university you want to go to, right? In the US, it's a holistic style of admission criteria. So they're looking for strong student profile. That means employment, on-campus employment, a job on campus, volunteering, internships. Things like this are super important. We send emails to our students all the time about what opportunities they have. And I myself also lead volunteer opportunities for students. Documentation-wise, we have an initial, midterm, and final progress report that Stephanie would send out to students, agents, or parents, whoever is designated for that student. So basically, 3 times within a semester, there are reports regarding how students are doing academically. There's an early alert system here specifically at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. So professors can choose to send out an alert, meaning maybe a student has missed classes, a student has failed a class, and so they are reporting to the university that, we're a little bit worried about this student. These alerts will directly then come to the King's academic advisor, and then they will report this to the student as well as to the student's designated agent, parent, whoever the contact is. And then again, continuous within whether the student is here with us for 1 to 2 years, sometimes even another extra semester, depending on what their schedule is regarding their academic studies. There is that one-on-one academic advising along with the workshops that we have with different cohorts, meaning wherever the student is, depending on their journey within their 2 years in university. And then again, advocacy for students. I always tell students they are here in a new country, and so we want to make sure students feel comfortable and they feel safe here in the U.S. Some on-campus services that we provide, major planning. So some students don't know what their major is, or maybe they decide that engineering has a lot of physics, a lot of math. It's really, really hard. So let's maybe change to maybe economics, chemistry, something like that. Academic advising. So Stephanie will talk more about what type of classes a student should take depending on what their target schools are. Writing support if needed, subject area tutoring if they're struggling, and also job-wise, they could even become a subject tutor in the future and get paid to work on campus. Study skills. Some students think if I stay up all night, I'm going to get an A in the class. But sometimes it's about how to study as well, right? Listening, writing, especially using AI nowadays. AI is a great tool to use, but how do you really use that tool to benefit you regarding your study skills? Survival skills, super important. Not only survival skills of the US, dealing with money transactions, taking the bus, using Uber on your phone, but also the weather, how to dress appropriately. Wisconsin, we obviously have 4 seasons, but we also have long winters, right? And so how to survive here in the US. Also, that also encompasses mental health too. So if a student is feeling depressed, if a student is feeling like they're homesick, right? We want to make sure the correct people connected to the student back home are being notified and making sure that the student is getting help while they're here in the US. TOEFL prep, some of the universities that students would like to apply to will need TOEFL, so we help them with that. SAT, not as much needed, but some schools, SAT is needed. We could help with that as well. And overall understanding of the US higher education system, learning about credits, GPA, grades, things like that, we go over with our students.
Okay, so I'll take over for a little bit, give Chihei a break. So just continuing on with our campus support services that we offer. So Chihei mentioned this a little bit, but we help students from the very beginning build their student profile because I always tell students that these competitive schools that they're trying to apply to have hundreds, if not thousands, of other applicants who have the same type of courses that they're taking or type of GPA. So they really need something that helps them stand out. Essay is one of them, but another big part of it is the profile. And the profile will include student involvement in internships, clubs, sports, volunteer opportunities, service, learning courses, research projects, and professional organizations. Now, students don't need to be involved in all of these types of things, but we really try to help them early on to at least join one or two clubs. Or if they're interested in sports, I'll help them find some sports organizations that they can join, or same thing with volunteer opportunities. Sometimes a student will even we can even help students start clubs on campus because sometimes they don't find a club they like. And starting club also looks really good on transfer applications. So that is something that we help them build early on, because also transfer admission advisors like to see that students are involved continuously, not just in their last semester. So it's good to start early. So I want to talk a little bit more about some of the services we provide, specifically about what makes us different. So the one thing that makes us different is that we have a lot of hands-on support with our students, but also constant communication with our King's partners. And this will include, Chihei touched on it a little bit, but something like new student snapshot reports. New student snapshot reports are for our first semester students only. And this is essentially after the first 2 weeks, I'll meet with the students just to check in on them, seeing how they're adjusting to their classes, if there's any concern, are they involved in anything? And then I'll usually send out a report shortly after to our King's partners, just highlighting how the student is doing. And I'll also include some notes about like any concerns or any praises for the students. But then I also send out midterm and final progress reports for all students. So midterm reports are sent out in the middle of the semester. And it'll include just updated information about the students' classes, any involvement that they're doing on campus this semester, any schools that they're interested in applying to. Have they been meeting with their monthly meetings with me? Have they been attending workshops? And then sometimes the midterm reports will include grades, but not always, because UWO doesn't always have midterm exams, so it just depends on that. And the final reports are pretty much the same, except for it will have those final grades on it. And then if they apply to any schools, I'll try to note any schools that they got accepted to. Otherwise, in both reports, I also include notes at the bottom, which will cover any areas of concern, any areas of praise, again, because I want to praise our students who are doing very well, or just any other information that I think might be important for our King's partners to know. And then I also have early alerts that I'll send out. So this gets sent before the midterms, and this is really great because early intervention with students is important for their success. So early alerts are essentially reports that the professors themselves will send out, marking either students if they're missing classes, missing assignments, or just not performing well in class. And they'll send those out. I will receive them, and then what'll happen from there is I'll reach out to the students to discuss action plans, whether it's tutoring, support, supplemental instruction, reaching out to their professor, especially if they miss assignments, or we'll discuss any other strategies to help them improve in their classes. And then again, then I'll send out that information to our King's partners. And I really like the early alerts just because, like I mentioned earlier, trying to help a student who's struggling like later in the semester, at that point, there's not much that can be done. But that early intervention that we get to have with them really makes the difference between if a student is successful or not at the end of the semester. Then we also have incident reports and wellness checks if a student is in any sort of accident or any type of situation, or if we haven't heard from a student in a while, we can go to the room and knock on their door and make sure they're okay. Sometimes we even had an instance where a parent reached out to Chihei saying, "Hey, I haven't heard from my son in a while. Can you check in to make sure he's okay?" So what she did, she just went to his dorm, knocked on his door, found out he was okay, and she told him to text his mom. So that's something that we can do as well, because we just want to make sure our students are doing well, not only academically, but just personally and emotionally and all that stuff. And then we're also a domestic advocate for students. There's so much that they have to navigate here, so much that they have to adjust. So We are there to support them, whether it's, like I said, academically or personal issues. So we are there to help them in those situations. We also have access to the UWO student portal, which is that bottom picture on the slide. That is really nice for us to have because not a lot of places have this. Essentially, by having this access, we can check students' holds, registration dates, their grades, but also, most importantly, their enrollment. So we can check to see what classes they're enrolled in and how many credits they're enrolled in. And this is really important with just making sure that they also have enough credits for F1 visa compliance, just to make sure they don't get any trouble with that. So sometimes if I'm on Titan Web and I notice a student doesn't have enough, I'll reach out to them and ask them, hey, you need to add another class so that you can stay in compliance with your F1 visa. Again, and what's nice is that I can address that early to avoid any complications later with immigration issues. And then Chihei mentioned we do have a physical office on campus, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. But having that physical office is really great because students can easily come find us. And then we also have opportunities for mock interviews. So sometimes transfer schools will require an interview for transfer, not all, but some will. And then if a student does need an interview for their transfer admissions, we can set up a time to meet to go over that interview process and go over interview expectations to help them feel as prepared as possible for that interview. Okay, so as I mentioned, Kings at UWO, we do have a physical office. So in that physical office, we have a full staff to support students, which includes me, their student success advisor, Chihei, the center director, Tirtha, our student experience coordinator, and Tanner, our academic affairs manager. So really, if they need any questions about academics, transfer, they come to me. If they have issues about housing or activities, they'll go to Tirtha. If they need someone to settle an issue or need someone to be their domestic advocate or something personal, they'll usually go to Chihei. And then for some of our students who need a little extra language support before fully transitioning into the university system, they'll usually get that extra support from Tanner. So it's really nice that we're all there because really any issue that a student may have, they can easily come to us. And having that physical office just ensures that there's no questions left unanswered. Because we've also find that sometimes students just get intimidated with sending emails. So it's just a lot easier for them to quickly pop in and ask us that question. And it's usually on their way to classes because we're centered pretty much in the middle of campus, a really good location that's near a lot of their classes. So we're really easy to get in contact with. We also provide additional transportation for off-campus events. So every semester, we'll always do a trip to UW-Madison for students to explore the campus, but sometimes we also take them to other schools that they might be interested, because I know one year I think we took students to University of Michigan. So if students are really interested in that, Kings will provide transportation, whether that's sometimes Chihei will rent a big van or vehicle and take them, or we'll rent a bus to take them, just to ensure that they can get that experience much more easily. And then we also provide additional volunteer opportunities with Kings. So in that top right hand picture, you'll see a group of children with a couple of our Kings students. They were involved in something called Junior Achievement, which is a national recognized volunteer opportunity where they basically get to mentor these young children at a public school in the US, and it looks really good on their transfer applications. And Chihei helps facilitate this. She helps students prepare for the volunteer opportunity because they have to teach a lot of things in Junior Achievement, helps them prepare and helps them get schedule the event, and it helps them get to and from the schools as well. So we will help them with that and other additional volunteer opportunities as well. And then again, because I'm there, we have hands-on transfer application support. So I'm able to help students throughout the whole transfer admissions process, just to make application process, sorry, just to make sure that there's no confusion and make sure that everything is done correctly. So I'll help with transfer deadlines, making sure that they're following. I always send constant reminders on transfer deadlines, like application deadlines, just to ensure that none of those deadlines are missed. I help to make sure they have all their documents that they need for transfer. I'll also review their transfer essays. I'll review their application before they submit it just to make sure everything is submitted well. And then if they have any issues with that transfer process, if we need to call the admissions office, I will help call the admissions office with them. I had one instance, for example, where I had to call transfer admissions for a student because she was on the UW-Madison guarantee, but for some reason was denied. And we weren't sure why she was denied because she had all of the requirements needed for the Madison guarantee. And when we looked, it noted that she was missing her high school transcripts, which I know wasn't true because she had been working really closely with me and I had helped her send her high school transcripts and told her to get a tracking number. And because she did that, we were able to call them and tell them, no, the high school transcript arrived on this date, so you guys should have it. They were able to locate it, and she was able to get her acceptance to UW-Madison. So if any type of issue like that arises, I am there physically to help them, to call them for them. And then I'll also help with post acceptance support. So after they get an acceptance from a school, I'll help them accept their offer, give them steps on how to transfer their I-20s or register for orientation and or anything like that. So just having that type of hands-on transfer support just really ensures that the transfer process can go smoothly without any delays or without any issues. So here is just some examples of our King's transfer success that really just shows how this hands-on support really helps our students be successful in their transfer processes. So as you can see in fall 2025, we've had students accepted into schools like Columbia University, NYU, Madison, Boston University, and multiple California schools. And within those acceptances, we also had a lot of engineering acceptances that year, including engineering for Georgia Tech, UIUC, University of Michigan, Purdue University, University of San Diego, UW-Madison, Virginia Tech, UCLA, University of Maryland, Ohio State, Penn State University, and Washington University, just to name a few. And even this semester so far, we've already had a few engineering acceptances for schools like Madison, ASU, and
Penn State.
Penn State University. So we're already starting to get some really good transfer results for this current transfer application cycle. So having that support again just really shows how success can really help our students be successful in their transfer goals.
Thank you. So with that, we are going to leave it open now for sort of a Q&A. I'm going to start with the introduction of our three King's alumni from our University of Wisconsin Oshkosh program. We first have Bing Ray Shao. He goes by Ray. He's from Kunming, China, and studied at UWO from fall 2018 to spring 2020 as a computer science major. At UWO, Bing Ray was a physics tutor. He received the Jackie Johnson Scholarship while studying at UWO. He was named to the Dean's List and awarded the Award of Excellence. With all these achievements, Bing Ray was able to successfully transfer to the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, under the help and support of King's at UWO, and received his bachelor's degree in computer science. After graduation in December 2022, he worked as a research assistant at the University of Michigan's Transportation Research Institute. Today, Bing Ray is currently employed with Subaru of America, focusing on autonomous driving as a software engineer. And I recently heard from Bing Ray that he successfully received his visa to come to the US next week and start working at Subaru. So welcome, Bing Ray. We also have Jae-sung Park. He is from Busan, South Korea, and moved to the U.S. In fall of 2023 with the King's program at UWO. During his time there, he maintained a 3.94 GPA and was recognized for both academic excellence and leadership. He received the Student Leader of the Year award and was named to the Dean's List for 4 consecutive semesters. He worked as a campus tutor in mathematics, business, economics, sociology, and psychology. In addition to his academic roles, he served as president of the Fox Student Association, founded the Management and Finance Club, and served as secretary of the Business Club. He also volunteered with Junior Achievement and completed internships at an accounting firm and a steel company during academic breaks. For transfer admissions, he applied to several highly selective universities, including Columbia University, Boston University, Boston College, New York University, Washington University in St. Louis, the University of Michigan Ann Arbor, and the University of Wisconsin Madison School of Business. He ultimately accepted and transferred to Columbia University. He is currently a junior at Columbia University, pursuing a bachelor's degree in financial economics with a focus on investment banking, asset management, business consulting, and accounting and audit. He currently serves as a member of Columbia University's Financial Investment Group and the Columbia Economic Society, as well as the finance director of the Korean Student Association. Jae-sung is passionate about finance and data-driven decision making and hopes to pursue a career in investment banking or strategic consulting after graduating in 2027. Welcome, Jae-sung. Michael Salim is here with us today. Christopher Michael Salim is from Indonesia and started his university studies with King's at UWO in fall of 2023. He was the president of the engineering club, founder of the badminton club, treasurer of UWO's Fox Student Association, and head of communities activities board. While taking leadership positions on campus, Michael also worked on campus at the University Library and Barlow Planetarium. He was also a King's leader, supporting King staff with student activities and new student orientation. Michael is currently a junior at Purdue University, pursuing a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering, specializing on nuclear fuels and large-scale project management. Beyond the classroom, he is passionate and an active community events leader and coordinator. He currently serves as a committee member at the Purdue Student Union Board and intends to leverage that experience to continue leading high impact projects after his graduation in 2028. So welcome to our student alumni panel. I'm going to, let's see, minimize this here. I don't want to stop sharing. Let's see, do that. Actually, maybe I have to stop sharing. Stop sharing there. Okay, perfect. So we do have a chat area where you can ask questions here. Ask questions. I'll just type right there. I'll start it off if we don't have any questions. Stephanie, Brittany, if you do see any questions, please pop in.
Yes.
So how about we start off with Bing Ray? Bing Ray, since you are sort of our eldest alumni, I
Yeah.
don't want to make you feel old, Bing Ray, but congratulations again on your recent job. What's the word? Getting the job. I think you're still in China right now, but you'll be traveling back to the US, okay? So Bing Ray, it might be take a while to think back in the day. But for you, what made you choose the King's program when you first, were thinking about starting university in the U.S.?
I do want to say, Chihei, I'm sorry, Bingray, we do have a question
Oh, you
in
do?
the Q&A that Brittany would like to answer, I see.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Bing Ray. So hold on, think about your answer, and then Brittany, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was trying to interject, but I did not do it gracefully. So we do have some questions about visas. So I'm going to read them out to you. It says, what help does King's provide for student visas? And we had a question about the visa process and application process in detail. So Regarding our visa process and application process in detail, I will be sure to record your email, Shilpa, and make sure that our admissions team can get back to you regarding that, as it's very it is very detailed, and we just don't have we're not able to answer it right now live or via the chat in this webinar. But I do want to address the help that students can get regarding their visa. And before I answer that, I wanted to open it up with all three of the panelists to see if they can recall if King's helped them with their visa in any way, just so we can hear from them. And if not, then I can elaborate on that. So, panelists, take a moment. Do you remember when you were applying to King's? Did anybody from the King's team help you with the visa application or your visa interview, or was it mainly with your agency?
I think it was mainly with my agency, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Kings mostly helped when I was in the US, like with all the other documents, in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe it's a different experience for others.
Thank you, Michael. Any
Maybe,
other panelists?
yeah. Bing Ray?
Yeah, I can share mine. I think I got a visa a long time ago. Sorry, I can't forget this, but yeah, I think definitely for the next few times, Kings does help me with my visa application and teach me how I do the interview, those things. So
Good. Thank you, Bing Ray.
yeah.
So let's start off. If Brittany, you're good to go regarding the visa stuff?
Well, so with the visa, I was just going to say that we do offer a lot. We are heavily involved in the visa process. A lot of the times, what we do is we receive questions from the agencies, and so we coordinate with the agencies, and then the agencies relay the information to the students. But directly with the students, we can answer any questions they have, and we do mock interviews. So King's has actually a whole rubric of questions that we use to prepare the students for their interviews. We use the real questions that they could experience in an interview, and we score them based on if they need more practice or if they're ready. And based on that score, they could either practice again with us, or if they're ready, then they go into their visa interview very happily. So that's the details I wanted to share. Thank you, Chihei.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Bing Ray, you had time to think. So what brought you to Wisconsin and to UWO back in the day?
Yeah, I think sorry, I'm sick these days. So
Oh,
well, yeah. I think at that time, Kings was like a very good choice for me because I can guarantee transfer to UW Madison, which is a very good school, and I like that school. And the other thing is like a transfer support thing because I feel like I must transfer to a better university like after my freshman sophomore year. So if I can get support from Kings for my transfer, that would be great. So this I made this decision to
yeah.
go with Kings.
Great. And it's very uniquely for the audience that's listening, as you can say, even though there is this sort of guarantee to Madison, notice our three alumni panel here, neither of the all none of them went to UW Madison. And so I think that's something to really think about is that when first students arrive, I think they think, oh, I'm going to go to Madison. You know, my parents or my agent or teacher told me go to Madison. But we tell them the transfer system, we want to maximize students' potential. That means a minimum of 5 universities we'd like students to apply to. Madison can even, at the end of the day, be sometimes a safety school for some students, depending on their major and program. But we really want students to think about other universities to attend to, right? So, Jae Sung, if we can talk about in your profile, you applied to many different universities at the end. Can you talk about why you considered coming to the King's program at UWO?
Um, yeah, I mean, like, I think it's pretty much similar to Bingley's opinion. Like, honestly speaking, like the biggest reason was that it provided like a relatively clear pathway to transfer to a top university like UW Madison. Well, that was very attractive to me at that time. Well, and also like another factor would be like it was about like support system that King's provided. King's had like dedicated academic advisors on campus, like who closely like monitors students' academic progress and like overall adjustment to the United States. Like I think which gave me like a lot of confidence, like starting my studies abroad. And like for me personally, I think the location played an important role because basically I studied at UW Oshkosh Fox Cities campus. So the campus was in a very quiet, like peaceful area, United States. Like because I started college a little later than many others in Korea due to, retaking Korean SAT and completing my military service. So I really wanted to study in an environment where I could, truly focus on my studies without many distractions.
Awesome. And so tell us, I'll move on to Mr. Michael. So, Michael, what was your reasoning from Indonesia to Wisconsin?
Yeah, so at the start of it, I wasn't really sure exactly where I wanted to go, right? And when I saw like King's offered, I'm like, okay, this is a good start. Like I could just start university and then there's gonna be a lot of support systems, is what I saw. And what it ended up happening, yeah, it's actually true. Like I was able to just like really focus on my studies here. But I just knew kind of like what I wanted to do. I didn't know how exactly to do it. And like after I was in King's, I'm like, all right, this is what it is. And they helped me a ton with that one.
Great. If I could ask, how about Michael? I'm going to continue with you. What advice would you give to students who are considering studying at King's?
Um, just like don't be afraid to like contact your King's advisors. Like just go to the offices too if you need something more immediate. Because I noticed that a lot of students when I was there, they're kind of a bit shy to ask for help. But I mean, they want to help you, right? Pretty much. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. So just I don't know, go to your advisors and ask them for help because they will definitely.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Looks like we have a question. Shirley asks, Hi, Jae-sung. How long have you been at King's and what preparation have you made before progressing to Columbia? So I guess, how long did you study at UWO Fox Cities campus and preparing at Columbia? So before Columbia, I guess, what was your kind of prep for the time being while studying in Wisconsin?
So, well, I studied total 2 years at UW Oshkosh Fox Cities campus, starting from fall 2023 to spring 2025 semester. Well, as GA explained before, priority, like I focused on managing my GPA and also like I tried as many activities. Uh, I mean, like I tried to do a lot of things that can be involved in campuses, including, founding a club, joining a club, working as a tutor in campus or something like that. I think managing GPA and involving in the campus is one of the most, important factors that you should think about it.
Yeah. And I think at the higher tier level, so all three of the students, you could see their profile. Really, it's about that, not just that GPA, but it's about activities and not just being a member, but being an executive member. So I think Bing Ray, it's been a while. So I remember you've done a lot. You were part of the men's soccer team. You were part of the engineering club. I'm just remembering now. It's been a while, but yeah. So again, I think this is why top schools are looking for not just GPA, they're looking for a student who will be a leader in the future. Because ultimately, students will be, marketing their school for the leaders they will be in the future. I don't know, Jae-sung, for you, for your schools, did you have any interviews that you needed to go through?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what do you remember? Is it Columbia that had the interview?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And was there any prep with Stephanie or with Kings beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, like at the decision day, like Columbia, like suddenly contacted me that they want to have an interview with me. So I just directly went to King's office and asked GA and Stephanie,
Oh,
like,
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
you remember
We
that, right?
practiced. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we practiced a lot for like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days.
Wow. And
And
did you feel confident going in? Were there any
oh, yeah,
questions?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
I mean, the questions he asked was basically all the things we prepared before. So yeah, everything went well. And, finally, like I mean, as a result, like I was accepted. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. It worked. Very good. Bing Ray. So I have a question. At University of Michigan, tell us about this. So you graduated with computer science, and then you did research. So does that mean you did OPT?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I did a 1 year OPT.
And then what happened after OPT? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bing Ray, your service connection is kind of bad. Uh-oh. He's stuck.
Research assistant. That. Sorry, can you?
Oh, he froze. Okay. He may have to log out and come back. Okay. Oh, there he is again. Can you hear us, Bing Ray?
Sorry, I think I lost the connection.
Okay, no worries. You're good now.
Okay, great. What was the question?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. So OPT for 1 year, you said, and then what happened
Oh
after
yeah.
OPT?
Yeah, so I did a 1 year OPT at the university for research assistant, and for second year is also OPT. I think it's a STEM OPT, and I joined Subaru as a full-time employee, and did a software engineer and continue with there. Now I just got my H-1B, and I'm preparing to return back to the US.
Oh, great. That's amazing that you got that H-1B. So you did 1 year OPT research and then you did 2 years with Subaru on that OPT?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
You did the
years with STEM OPT.
STEM
Yeah.
OPT, yeah. So again, that STEM
Mhm.
kind of gave you that longer period of time to be able to get that job here in the US. And then ultimately, yeah, you got that kind of that H-1B, that lottery. You hit the lottery with the H-1B visa. So yeah, congratulations. What are your plans now at Subaru? Are you planning long term to stay in the US? Do you plan to go back to school? What are your plans?
My original plan was go to graduate school,
Mhm.
but since I got the H-1B now, I may just stay with Subaru for a long time because I think I can learn a lot of things from like a real factory, right?
That's
Like
amazing.
they do research there, they do the autonomous driving there. It's I like my job, so I think I just stay with Subaru for a while, and then I will decide if I can go like a part-time graduate school or other things.
Okay.
Yes,
But
I just want to add really quickly that that is an excellent decision, as many graduate schools actually prefer their students who have work experience. So you get that work experience under your belt, and many programs they are built for you to have part-time jobs so that you can attend part-time. So, Bing Ray, I think that is an excellent decision. So good for you.
yeah, and perhaps
Thank you
Super
very much.
will even pay for partial education too,
Yeah,
right?
That
That's
would be
yes, they do.
amazing. Okay. Let's see, Michael. So over at Purdue and engineering. So tell us, you went from a smaller campus life, right, to now a big program over at Purdue. Can you tell us sort of the comparison? Did coming from a smaller school prepare you to a bigger school now?
I think there's a lot of things that I learned while I was in the smaller school that like really helped me while I'm in Purdue. So definitely like when you're in a smaller school, you can just like really slow down really so and you understand the system in the country. So that's like the number one thing in my opinion. Because I mean I was like driver's license. One of the things you need to understand that, and then since I got employment, that means I have to get like a social security number and everything, and I Kings helped me out with like with all that. So there's a lot of things like bureaucracy basically that you're able to learn while you're not in a too big of a campus, right? Because right now I'm in Purdue and like the advisors, for example, is a lot more like more split between a lot of students. So it's a lot harder for them to kind of like give advice or like one-on-one advisory basically compared to Kings. So I'm so happy and glad that like I figured all of that before I came to Purdue because it would just be so bad. But yeah, I mean, I think just being in the King's program in a smaller school just allows you to learn really the fundamentals of the society and the system, and I think that'll like just help you so much in day to day, in my opinion. So once you do go to a bigger school and there's other things to worry about, the things that are important, like like your social security number if you need anything with that, or let's say like what government entity you need to contact, you don't gotta worry about that because you already know. So
Awesome. Thank you. If I ask Jae Sung again regarding your sort of transfer results, for students who are who are thinking about coming to the U.S. or maybe they're studying right now in the U.S. trying to apply to top 20 schools like yourself, what would be one or two words of advice for them?
Um, well, let me think about it. So, okay. Well, I think um okay, so I would like to say like there are like three main things. So first, as I told you guys before, like most importantly, you need to like maintain a strong GPA. Like activities are important. It is true, but GPA is usually the first filter in the transfer process, in my opinion. And I think it's the most, um quantifiable way for universities to, evaluate your academic ability and like work ethic. So studying hard, keeping your grades high should always be the priority. I think so. And like secondly, um, as I said before, like getting involved on campus, join clubs, participate in activities, and like try to take on leadership roles if possible. So like, these experiences are not just something you add to your resume, I think. So, I mean, like they help you grow personally and professionally, and like they also make it much easier to adapt when you transfer to a new university. So, as long as it doesn't hurt your GPA, I would encourage you guys to participate in as many meaningful activities as you can. Each experiences becomes an asset later on, I think so. And finally, I would like to say like build strong relationship with your professors because a well-written recommendation letter from a professor who truly knows you can play a very important role in the transfer process. So that's why most universities require recommendation letters during the transfer process. Well, here at Columbia, like many major classes have around like 200 students. So it's actually very difficult to build close relationship with professors. But at Oshkosh, situation is different, right? Class sizes are much smaller, which gives you a great opportunity to connect with your professors. So what I'm trying to say is like try to build at least one strong relationship with a professor who knows you well and supports your goal.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I want to say, Bing Ray, I think you reached out to me when you were thinking about applying for grad school. I think you were trying to contact a professor that, right, that taught you. And that I thought that was interesting because your relationship within your first 2 years of university, you felt more comfortable with a professor there than your last third and fourth semester at University of Michigan. I'm thinking maybe similar to what Jae Sung is saying that, University of Michigan, you're one of hundreds of students, right? So it's difficult to get that relationship with the professor.
Yes, I totally agree with that because I feel very like at UWO, it's very easy to know your professor and your professor knows you. But if you like go to like very big school like me, UMich, like if I don't go to the office hour very often, my professor doesn't know me and he will not write a recommendation letter for me. So I think this is another good thing at UWO because your professor know you very well.
Yeah. How about Michael over at Purdue? How is like the student to professor ratio? How do you feel like, relationship with professors?
yeah, it's pretty similar. Like, for example, if you're in a math class here, there's like 5,000 students. Like, you're not really speaking to your professor at this point. You're talking to a TA, like teaching assistant basically. So it's quite difficult to actually get to know your professors in Purdue. But in my opinion, if you are like really dedicated, and you get really close with your TAs can actually refer you to the professors, and then that's kind of how you get to know them here. So yeah, that's
Okay.
it's a bit difficult compared to like Oshkosh, for example, where it's just like a class of 30 pretty much, and then you're one of 30. It's a lot easier to be remembered if you're one of 30 versus one of 5,000. You know?
Yep. Okay, good. All right, we're right at the 1 minute after the 1 hour mark. So I'm going to just leave it for last minute. If Stephanie, Brittany, any last minute questions, if our audience has any questions, I'm going to actually share my screen one more time again and then just put up our QR code for our social media to really see sort of what's going on specifically um, at our UWO location from current slide. And of course, this will also lead you to our you can find our main King's Education Instagram and social media as well. Please do follow us on Instagram. We're still getting more results for this coming fall 2026 transfer. So we're very excited to hear results from students. Um, but if you have any other questions, please do let us know. Hopefully, once I press stop, we will be the session will be recorded, so we don't have to worry too much about technical issues again. So with that, Brittany, Stephanie, any last comments on your ends?
Yes, so I was just thinking, why transfer works. So as you can see from our panelists here that, they were in a situation regarding higher education. They didn't really know for sure what to do or had some ideas, but then they decided to join King's and take advantage of our transfer program so they could, figure out U.S. education, kind of dip their toes, right, in the water a bit, gain some experience, and then take advantage of U.S.'s flexibility in higher ed. So these are some great examples of why transfer works. You come, you get used to higher ed, and then you take all of your knowledge and confidence with you onto your next major university. You also get your OPT when you study in the US, so you get employment experience before you go home, or you could be like Bing Ray and get very lucky and get your H-1B visa.
All right. So for Michael, Jae-sung, Bing Ray, thank you so much for joining us. Again, Brittany, Stephanie, thank you again. Any other questions that you have, please shoot us an email. For our students, we're well now only two students. Bing Ray, you're no longer a student anymore. You're in the real world of working. Good luck with your job, Bing Ray. Michael, Jae-sung, good luck with the rest of your semester. Study hard for finals, okay? We wish everybody well. And until next time, we'll see you. Have a good day, everybody, or good evening. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
Yes.